A sunny Sunday afternoon on the first day of summer here at one of the most famous race circuits in the world. Good afternoon and welcome to race 4, round 3 of the 2026 Italian F4 Championship, presented by WSK Promotion, together with the Automobile Club of Italy, here at Monza, the home of the Italian Formula One Grand Prix. A record-breaking field here this weekend, 49 drivers from around the world, and in just a few moments we race for the final time, the final 36 drivers making it through to the final. Unfortunately, it is tough, it is ferociously competitive, and after 3 qualifying races thus far, unfortunately 13 drivers will have to watch this from the grandstands, which are filling nicely with the crowd here on a super sunny afternoon. The flags in the background. In the centre, the Italian national flag starting to pick up and bringing some relief with the breeze because it is swelteringly hot, almost 37 degrees Celsius. The track temperature, 60 degrees Celsius on the first day of summer. Lucas Samalisto will start from pole position, but first we speak to the Swiss driver, Florentin Hattemer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, here we are with Florence. So you did a really great race. It's a pity for the penalties, but you did a really good job. So what can we expect from the last race?
Well, yeah, for sure. I will try everything in the last race to move forward as much as we can, and let's see what it will bring, because for sure the last race will be long and hard, but I will do everything I can. The car is quick and the pace is here, so we'll just have to see what also luck and what everyone else will do. But yeah, we're quick, and I can't wait to move forward now in this last race and do all I can.
Thank you.
From the city of Bern in Switzerland, trying not to have any super collisions. Yes, pun intended. Florentin Hattemer with a brilliant podium drive this morning. Starts a little bit further back on the grid, on the 9th row of the grid, behind Ed Robinson, who has dropped down the order after taking pole position on Friday evening. He starts a row ahead on grid 8. Lucas Samalisto will start on pole position. There is the Finn to the right of your screen. But first, let's hear from the Roman, Niccolo Macagnani.
So Niccolo, you did a very good job until now, so what can we expect from the last race?
Yeah, I think the race is very good. Unfortunately, quali wasn't ideal, so we had to come back, but I expect to come back also this race. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Roman, the Ferrari junior driver who had a forgettable round in round 2 at Vallelunga. He was one of the pre-season favourites. Let's realistically say, unfortunately, he won't make the title, but he does have another chance of a series this year because the E4 Championship gets underway. The fourth running of the 3-round series, the European Series, the E4 Championship, running in conjunction or alongside, in effect, the Italian F4 Championship. Let's hear from the boy from Brazil, Pecco Bernoldi.
Yesterday, a very good race for you, and now another chance in the final race.
Yeah, I did a pretty good race in the second race. The first one was also pretty good, but I just did some mistakes. I was just over-aggressive, and I learned from all these races, and now I'm gonna try to, improve and try to do even better this one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Grazie. Muito obrigado. Pecco Bernoldi, bom dia a nossos amigos assistindo no Brasil. Yes, a great drive this morning for the second generation racer. Well inside the top 10, his best performance of the season. Finally showing the potential that we've seen over the past few seasons in WSK World Karting. Starts 1 position behind his Trident Motorsport teammate, Florentin Hattemer, alongside the Roman, Niccolo Macagnani. To the right of your screen, the series leader from pole, Lucas Samalisto. To the left of your screen, David Cosma Christopher from Bucharest in Romania for the Prema Racing team, starting out at grid 2. Just behind the first of the Van Amersfoort racing cars, that's Thomas Behrman. Outside second row, all the way from Essex in the King's England. Well, originally following in the footsteps of his older brother Ollie here at the circuit to support his younger brother. Ollie, of course, taking the victory in this series 2021 with Van Amersfoort Racing. It was the second time the Dutch team took the title after Dennis, current NTT IndyCar Series world driver. Dennis Hauger winning for Van Amersfoort 2019. Ollie, 2 years later, starting on the outside of the second row of the grid. Here's alongside Ian Kraling on the second row, but there's pole. Lucas Samalisto, DCC, out of grid 2. Cosma Christopher beside Samalisto, ahead of Ian Kraling. And then Thomas, out of car 87, out of grid 4. Just ahead of the Australian who won for the first time yesterday, Noah Killian and Ari Bansel, also for the US Racing Team. Kenzo Craigie and Elia Weiss. The German is alongside the Mercedes Junior. Out of grid 9, Christian Kostoy, the McLaren Junior from Spain. Alexander Savinkov, who was fighting for the podium up until the last lap this morning. Second in the series, Al Baksoy starts alongside the Rapid Dane for the Real Racing Team. Nud Nielsen, Il Siciliano, Ludovico Busso, Levi Ahn with the fastest lap yesterday. Good performance this weekend from Alexander Chartier, who starts alongside the pole sitter Ed Robinson. Reckenmacher, that's Simon for the Cram Motorsport team. Florentin, who we just spoke to a moment ago, on the podium this morning, ahead of the Roman Niccolo Magagnani. And then, O Menino do Brasil, Becco Bernoldi, out of grid 20. Alex Ruta into the wall yesterday, will be looking to fight back. Bader Al-Salati, the Qatari, who is loving the heat here this afternoon. Dominic Shimek, and watch for Andre Rodriguez, ahead of Jacopo Martinez, Augustus Toniolo, Pedro Lima, Emma Felbermeyer behind the two Brazilians. The Austrian racing in the F1 Academy Series, ahead of Bondarev, back on 29. Peyton. That's Westcott from Laguna Beach in California. Vittorio Orsini, Roland Kuklane, the Estonian, scrapes onto the grid, as does Thomas Genda. Rosanna Dendraiva, Este race here in Italia. First time in the Italian series. She's made it through onto the grid, ahead of her Maffei Racing teammate David Walter, and just scraping in. Car 44, born in nearby Genova, the Italian-born Costa Rican, car 44 for the Antonelli Motorsport team, Evan Michelini. The car's about to set off on their formation lap. 25 minutes plus 1 lap here at the Cathedral, the Temple of Speed. So Lucas Samalisto is the championship leader, and will start from pole position. He has 198 points over Al Baksoy, who's second in the series. David Cosma Christopher, second on the grid, third in the series on 163 points. Robinson, fastest qualifier at Vallelunga, round 2 in Rome. Fastest qualifier on Friday evening. Starts further back on the grid, but he's fourth on 154 points. Ari Bansal, 139 points. Fifth in the series is the Indian, following in the footsteps of Kushmani, formerly racing in this series. Now in the FIA Formula 2 series, both Indian drivers, both Ari and Kush from Bangalore in India. Alexander Savinkov, sixth on 124 points. Ian Kraling, the third generation racer from Germany, 105 points. Walter, who starts on the back of the grid, he's eighth in the series on 102 points. Behrman, 92 points. And Ludovico Pusso looking to finish here at Monza, the Italian, on a strong note. He's 10th in the series, coming into this, the fourth and final race here this weekend. There was no clear favourite for this, the 13th season of the world's most competitive junior car racing series. Well, there certainly is now. Lucas Samalisto, in form from the outset at Misano, where he was rapid quick, taking pole position, taking race wins at Vallelunga. He's won twice thus far this weekend here at the Temple of Speed, and he starts from pole position. the Finn, the Romanian alongside the German out of grid 2, that's Iron, and then Thomas out of grid 4. You look at Elia Weiss, who was on track for Porsche in the Formula E test in Berlin last year. Starting one position ahead of Christian Costoya. There is the McLaren orange coloured car of the McLaren Junior, four-time WSK champion. Car 1 for the Prema Racing team. Costoya from the northwest of Spain. A tough start to his rookie year in Formula 4. He will get the result before the end of the year, I promise you. He is a talent. It may come this afternoon. Lukas Samalisto from Tampere in Finland. Pole position for us Racing. The temperature almost 38 degrees Celsius. It is baking hot. The track temperature 59.1 degrees at the moment. There's Alpak Soy, second in the series, the driver from Istanbul. This is Knud Nielsen. The real racing team, they've got a quick car. Don't be surprised if they've got two cars on the circuit the next round of the series at Mugello to join Knud Nielsen, the Romanian-Italian team. Nielsen, the Dane, starting alongside Alpak Soy, who's second in the series. The first day of summer here at the Temple of Speed, the home of the Italian Formula One Grand Prix. Luca Samalisto, the championship leader for us Racing, starts on pole position. We welcome you to Monza. The green flag flies at the back of the grid. The 5 red lights for the final time. This weekend, we race. Perfect start from Samalisto, leads the field down into turn 1. It's a clean getaway. Cosman Christopher in second place, covers off Thomas Behrman, who goes around the outside. It becomes the inside, both cutting the corner. Behrman and the second of the Prema Racing drivers. And remarkably, they've made it through the first corner relatively cleanly. Samalisto with the race lead. Through La Curva Grande for the first time. Cosman Christopher in second place. Then we go to Ian Kraling. Then it's Behrman, Kilian Aribansal. The two teammates trade positions. Alpak Soy, credit to the Turk, stays on circuit, respects the track limits. Holds the position going into Lesmo 1 as they bank up behind him. That's Kenzo Craigie, Savinkov, Costoya, Nielsen, Arndt, Busso, Robinson. Rapid start for Ed up into P15. Costoya goes through. That's the magnificently presented real racing car of Knud Nielsen. Car 41, he's just behind Costoya. And Savinkov, who rounds out the top 10. But it's Lukas Samalisto, the Finn, trying to take his third win of the weekend here at Monza. Costoya dives down the inside of Kenzo Craigie. The McLaren Junior fighting with a Mercedes AMG Junior. But KC holds him off for the moment. His teammate going straight ahead through the Ascari chicane as Pedro Lima goes straight ahead as well. They get back on track down into the Parabolica for the first time. So a clean start to the final race of the weekend. It was Peyton Westcott, incidentally, who went straight ahead, but she has rejoined. It is Samalisto who leads lap 1 by 0.64 of a second. Cosman Christopher, the Romanian, ahead of the German, trying to chase down the Finn. Thomas on the outside. Then it's Bansel and Kilian. The US Racing teammates, both drivers from the British Commonwealth. Together with Thomas Behrman, the Englishman ahead of the Australia behind the Indian. Then the German, the Turk, Alpak Soy up to P8 from Costoya. And Craigie. Costoya on the outside, trying to attack. Watch into the Roger chicane. Samalisto, P1. Cosman Christopher, though, looking good in the early stages. Thomas Behrman having to defend but loses the place. Kenzo Craigie goes on through. Nielsen on the back of Costoia. Fabulous racing in the early stages of race 4, round 3. The Italian F4 Championship, presented by WSK Promotion together with the Automobile Club of Italy here at the home of the Italian Formula One Grand Prix. This is the Temple of Speed. This is the Finn trying to take his 3rd win of the weekend on the first day of summer. A baking hot day here in the north of Italy, but the Finn as cool as ice. He's got the race lead by 7/10 of a second as we see Augustus Tognolo go wide out of it. Lesmo too gets back on track. Craigie still defending from Costoia through the Ascari chicane. Debris being dragged onto the circuit. Not critically though on the racing line. Trying to shake David Cosmo Christopher into the parabolica. This is Craigie, Costoia. Nielsen on your screen for Real Racing at car 41 ahead of Ludovico Bussol. Robinson behind Savinkov. The US Racing trio ahead of Levian. Also from Switzerland, the final points paying position at the moment. Down into turn 1. Top speed clocked this weekend, 248.7 kilometres an hour as Alp goes fastest. Sideways from Kenzo Craigie. Controlling the wheel spin despite the warm conditions. Nielsen defending from Savinkov, Robinson and Rekamaka. Into the Rocha chicane, right to the edge of the racetrack. Behrman to lose the place here if he can't defend from Elia Weiss. He does so. Elia Weiss tries to tuck back in. Aksoy behind. And Kenzo Craigie. Alp on the outside. Into Lesmo 1. Holds it. Determination from the Turk. Not only to hold the position, but also hold second in the series. The German for Jensen Motorsport. Just behind. There's Behrman flashes by. Costoia, Nielsen, Bussol, Savinkov, Robinson, Regenmacher, Arn Ruta, Nicolo Macagnani, Bernoldi and Bader Al-Salati from Qatar, the final position inside the top 20. Sideways going through the chicane. Luca almost throws the lead away on the gravel, which has been thrown onto the circuit by cars going off track on the prior lap. Superb skill from Luca Samalisto, but look at the racing Romanian right behind. Into the parabolica, does not want to pass there and give the slipstream as they come down the straight to start lap 4 in a moment. Aksoy now ahead of Thomas Behrman, who pulls out of the draft. The historic Old Banking in the background to the right of your screen. Cosmo Christopher gets the toe. Racing down turn 1, well over 150 miles an hour, just under 250 kilometers an hour to the slowest corner on the circuit. Turns in, massive lock. As Alp Aksoy straight through the chicane. 3 degrees of front wing on this car, on these cars. And maximum rear wing, you can see it is virtually horizontal flat. On the outside into the Rocha chicane, still Luca Samalisto now having to defend. Behrman trying to fight back on the back of Alp Aksoy. There's Elia Weiss on the inside. Aksoy's off the road. Alp Aksoy goes rallycross. Throws away 6 positions and potentially even second in the championship. Weiss, Elia on the attack. Now fighting with Craigie, Costoia and Il Siciliano. Ludovico Bussol. Behrman's off the road. Thomas into the gravel. A disaster for the Brit who started out of grid 4. Commendable to bring it back on circuit though. Falls right down to the bottom of the field. Thomas Behrman will not win here this afternoon at the circuit where his older brother Ollie wrapped up this championship 5 years ago. Into the wall, Kenzo Craigie was also involved. So Kenzo Craigie, Thomas Behrman come together. Thomas back on track. Kenzo is out. The safety car also out onto the circuit. And that will give Luca Samalisto some breathing space. It is still green at this point until they cross that marshal point. Now There is the safety car board. There are the yellow flags. And this is the reason why there was contact. Front right into left rear. Going into Lesmo 2 at the top of your screen. Thomas gets back on circuit, has rejoined in 23rd position. Kenzo Craigie is out. Wow, what a start to the afternoon. Lucas Samalisto, the Finn from the Romanian. Ari Bansal is in third place. Kenzo Craigie out. A frantic start to race 4, round 3, the Italian F4 Championship here at the Temple of Speed. There is Kenzo. Look, have a close look at the gravel, which is right on the racing line. The team here at Monza, first class. They will clear that as best as possible. But inevitably, yes, it won't be as clean as it was a lap prior. You can see the gravel down into the Rocher chicane, the bottom left of your screen. That almost caught out Lucas Samalisto in race 3 this morning as well. So word from race control, our race director, Mr. Dino Lodola, together with Deputy Race Director, Miss Susanna Coletta. Incident between car 34 and 87, that's Craigie and Behrman, has been noted. It is irrelevant though, because Behrman has dropped down to 23rd position. Craigie is out, some consolation, although it is virtually meaningless. Currently fastest lap of the race, Kenzo Craigie, a 1:53.801. But he is the sole retirement. His day, his week here at Monza is over. Still gravel and debris coming out of the Lesmo curves down underneath the historic banking. Seraglio into the Ascari curves. So throughout the weekend, 2 wins thus far for Lucas Samalisto. He has been absolutely incredible off the restart, slowing the field down incredibly slowly. To their credit, no one did have an incident behind the safety car, which we've seen all too often. It was Behrman going through. He has rejoined. Except in the final race this morning, he bolted early and got a fantastic restart. Watch the tactics. You could ride your bike faster than they're driving down the back straight now. I do not exaggerate. Well, quite a quick cycle. But it's up to Lucas Samalisto when he goes. He led them right up to the line. It is the decision of the race leader, Lucas Samalisto, when to go. The green flag is flying now. The track is green. But nobody can pass until they cross the start-finish line. Now Luca goes into the parabolic arc. Good restart. Cosma Christopher tries to go with him. There's Bansal in P3. Back to Krayling, Killian. The green flag flies, and we race once again here at Monza. Kostoya up into P7, the top rookie ahead of Busol Savinkov. Good restart from Ari Bansal. Tries to take Osman Christopher, and the racing Romanian dives down the inside to follow him, to cover him off. There's Killian. Kostoya cuts the chicane, goes straight ahead. Elia Weiss up into P6. Christian just behind. Incidentally, from the back of the grid, David Walter is storming up through the field up into 21st position behind Chartier, Dominic Shimak, and also Thomas Behrman. Into the gravel, Elia Weiss. Out of the Rogier chicane. This is Elia in car 22 for the Jensen Motorsport team. Kostoja, Savinkov, Busso, Aksoy, Robinson, Nielsen, Reckenmacher, that's Simon, Levian, Alexander Ruta. What a comeback after finishing in the wall yesterday in race 2. In the final points paying position at the moment. We have passed half race distance. The 4th final race of a record-breaking weekend here at the Temple of Speed. Lucas Samalisto, the race leader, the championship leader from the Romanian. And right behind is Ari Bansel, who tries to fire it down the inside. The US racing team 1, 3, 4, 5, 7 and position 10 with Ludovico Busso. Outstanding from the German team. Elia Weiss gives the toe to the Sicilian, who's finished teammate with the race lead. Down the start finish straight, still Kenzo Craigie, incidentally, with some irrelevance with the fastest lap of the race as David locks up the front left lightly. The US racing drivers, Kostoja straight through the chicane again. Thomas Behrman trying to fight his way back through the pack in 22nd. Now behind David Walter, just picks up Bader Al Salati as we see Florentin Hattemau. A brilliant podium this morning for the Trident Motorsport team driver, but now into pit lane, drops down to 35th position. And we'll just try and bring it home here this afternoon. There's Aksoy. Frustrated. He's the second rookie, Kostoja's the first, but Christian has cut the chicane twice. Lucas Samalisto, P1, has withstood the challenge for the moment. The US racing drivers, well, the Prema racing team have dominated since the inception of the Italian F4 Championship, winning the inaugural title with Canadian Formula One driver Lance Stroll. Ralph Aron a year later, 2017 and 18. Marcus Armstrong taking the title away from Marcus Siebert, who won from Jensen Motorsport. Enzo Fittipaldi, Andrea Antonelli, Dino Beganovic, Freddie Slater. The Prema racing team with the team's championship on multiple occasions. But here, look at the US racing team. They won the title with Kasper Stuger in 2023. They lead the championship with Lucas Samalisto. They lead the race with Lucas Samalisto. And their drivers, 1st, 3rd, 4th, 5th, with Samalisto, Bansel, Kilian, and Savinkov, who just locked up in spectacular fashion under brakes. Down in turn 1 as now he sets the fastest lap of the race. And Alexander Bondarev, the Williams F1 Academy junior driver, retires down into pit lane. What a miserable season. The driver from Kiev in Ukraine, the Williams F1 Academy Junior, the multiple WSK International Karting Champion, former European kart racing champion, into pit lane. Well, this is the 3rd round of 7. I hate to say this, but we could almost certainly declare Bondarev will not win the title in 2026. No surprise to see that to the right of your screen for Christian Kostoja. The gap, 0.479 from Samalisto to Cosmo Christopher. Alexander Savinkov for 153.532. That is an average speed of 184 kilometers an hour here at one of the fastest circuits in the world. Into the parabolica, they go left, right, trying to break the toe. Cosmo Christopher is awake to it. He's in second place, desperate to try and take the win. Nielsen fighting with Alexander Ruta. Around the outside goes the pole. Fighting with the Dane for Real Racing. Van Amersfoort Racing, Prema Racing, and Real Racing go 1, 2, 3 down the straight. Fantastic racing here at the Temple of Speed. Nielsen in 14, Ruta just behind. Macchignani. Nicolo up into 16th place from Walter. What to charge from the back of the grid. The Great Dane now in position 16. Busso cuts the chicane into the gravel. It looks to be, it's Kuklane. Roland for the PHM team. Roland Kuklane brings out the safety car for the second time. That's disappointing for the Estonian. Looks to be at the final corner. So Lucas Samalisto with breathing space once again. The gap 0.465. Cosmo Christopher in second, has attacked all race. May have used the best of these Pirelli DMA tyres, the DMA compound introduced at the start of 2024. Taking over from the DM tyre, much more user-friendly. Higher pressures running at about 1.4 bar of pressure, which is trying to do the mathematics in PSI. I'm sure somebody can tell me. Around about 30% more pressure anyhow compared to the previous compound, despite the very warm conditions here this afternoon at Monza. This is Nielsen, around about 20 PSI, which is reasonably high compared to the previous compound. 3 degrees of front wing, virtually horizontal on the rear wing. The Tata's T421 new generation car, powered by the Alto Technica tuned Abarth engine, turbocharged 1.4 litre, producing around a 185 horsepower at just under 6,000 RPM. Jacopo Martinez, incidentally, has just pulled into pit lane. PHM racing team driver. So with the final 5 minutes to race here this weekend, let's cap the order. Samalisto, the championship leader, the race leader, trying to win for the third time here this weekend as you look at Elia Weiss go through in P9. Cosmo Christopher, one final attack for the Romanian. Ari Bansal, P3, outstanding. Savinkov, Kilian, Ian Kraling, the US racing drivers, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then it's Alpaxoy, Kostoya, Weiss, and Ludovico Busso. Robinson up into P11 from Simon Reckenmacher, Levian, Maccagnani, and Ruta in P15 ahead of Knut Nielsen. Incidentally, Jacopo Martinez just rejoins, being chased down by Florentine Hattemer. They'll stay on the lead lap. Florentine also making a pit stop a few moments ago. We'll try and bring it to the checkered flag, which will wave in around about 5 minutes from now. 25 minutes plus 1 lap here at the Temple of Speed, the third round of the Italian F4 Championship. Safety car in at the end of this lap. Nice to have your company wherever you're watching us live all around the world. The third of 7 rounds for 2026. From here we go to Mugello on July 26. Round 5 is at Imola on September 6. The penultimate round back where we started at the Misano Adriatic Circuit. So we see the bottom left. From race control, safety car in at the end of this lap. And we'll crown the 13th champion of the world's most competitive junior car racing series on the first day of November at Mugello to round out the 13th series of Italian F4, presented by WSK Promotion together with the Automobile Club of Italy. The series which has put 9 drivers on the grid in the FIA Formula One World Championship, including Ollie Behrman, who won this title in 2021 here at the circuit this afternoon, supporting his younger brother. Ollie Behrman, a wild moment at the start of the race, fell right back, but I can tell you he's actually fought back to be in position 18 behind David Walter, who's driven up to 17th place from grid 35. Behrman may yet get a point out of the weekend. 2 minutes 10 plus 1 lap to race. The green flag flies. Samalisto accelerates, coming out of the Parabolica. Cosman Christopher in second. We race to the checkered flag here at Monza. Fantastic restart from Ari Barnsell. They cross the line. David Cosman Christopher can forget about trying to attack Samalisto for the race lead because Ari Barnsell fires it down the outside. The world's fastest Indian locks up, goes straight ahead. For all of 0.001 of a second, he was leading here at Monza. Went in too deep, went straight ahead. As we lose one of the Gensa Motorsport drivers on the infield, does rejoin. Let's hope they stay out of the gravel as we go to Badir Al-Salati. Fighting with Dominic Shimak. Samalisto, Cosman Christopher. There's Costoya, Elia Weiss. Busso, Robinson up to P9, in car 9. Reka Makaruta, Makanyani, Walter. Behrman is now back in the points. Fantastic comeback. There's Thomas. From Knut Nielsen for Real Racing, the final points paying position. It may be the last lap board next time round. Off the road goes Rallycross. Is Noah Killian. A nervous moment for the Sydney sider. As the safety car comes out onto the circuit, and this is the reason why. It's Alpak Soy. Alpak Soy and Ian Kraling have come together, second in the series, leading the rookie championship. Alpak Soy into the gravel, together with the German Ian Kraling. The safety car has been deployed. That may well be the ball game. And that has championship implications as well. Ian Kraling, Alpak Soy come together almost as we start the last lap of the race. In fact, that will be the case this time round. We just click over 25 minutes. Ian Kraling steps out of his destroyed 62 US racing car. There's Alpak Soy's car being hoisted and removed. This is the last lap. The full-time whistle is about to blow. That's the ball game. Samalisto wins. Barnsell briefly through to the race lead. Has rejoined in P5 where he'll finish. Samalisto wins it. And this in the background, Alpak Soy and Ian Kraling going around. Lucas Samalisto will win for the third time here this weekend, and there's confirmation from race control. The race will finish behind the safety car. Well, at Misano, at the first round of the series in the media centre, there was, friendly debate. There was not money exchanged. There was betting on who would win the title. A couple of people said Luca. I'm sure you can't bet. I hope you can't bet on this. But if you could, Luca Samalisto will be odds-on favourite. He will win for the third time this weekend, and he will take a strong championship lead to Mugello on July 26. This is Maccagnani. He'll finish in P12. Head of David Walter. What a drive from the Great Dane. 35th to 13th. He's ahead of Knut Nielsen, who'll be on the rookie podium again, and Thomas. Well, P15. It is just a single solitary point for the driver who won twice last year in the British Formula 4 Championship. But a great comeback, finishing ahead of Bernaldi, Chartier, Al-Salati, Toniolo, Lima. The Brazilians round out the 20. Great performance also from Andre Rodriguez. Car 40 to the right of your screen, the American flashing by. He'll finish 21 from Schimek Michelini, Emma Felbermeyer, Dan Driver and Peyton Westcott. Emma wins the women's trophy. Orsini, Martinez, Genda, Hatamau. Levian was the driver turned around at the first chicane. Out, Iron Kraling and Al Baksoy. That brought out the safety car, which is on your screen now. It was. It leads the race. Kuklana out earlier. Bondarev parked in pit lane. And Kenzo Craigie into the wall after making contact with Thomas Behrman. This is David Walter. What a brilliant performance. Grid 35. What a drive to come home in 13th place. Nielsen just behind in 14. So the two Danes together, in fact. And Thomas in P15. Lucas Summerlistall will win and will lead the championship handsomely, going to Mugello on July 26. Let's not speak too soon because we have seen incidents in the past behind the safety car. Thankfully and respectfully, not this weekend. Lucas Summerlistall, unbeatable here at Monza. He wins race 1. He wins race 3 this morning. And he wins the final here this afternoon. David Cosma Christopher, we believe, will move into second in the series with second here this afternoon. The US Racing Team dominant. Slowly out of the final corner, he can push it to here. Push it from here to the checkered flag, which is about to wave. Together concurrently with the yellow flag, Lucas Summerlistall, the Finn, takes the win for the third time here at the Temple of Speed. The checkered flag waves, that's the ball game. At the end of the full 90, Summerlistall is the race winner here at Monza. Cosmo Christopher second, and Alexander Savinkov on the podium. That's well deserved. In third place, Kilian Kostoya, 10th on the grid to P5 and win the rookie trophy. Ari Barnsell, well, he briefly, very, very briefly led the race. It was worth a try for the Indian. Unfortunately lost the podium, but a great performance. He's shown rapid speed this weekend. Barnsell finishes in 6th from Elia Weiss. Bussol, Robinson, car 9, P9. Second rookie is the German Simon Reckenmacher in P10. Ruta, Maccagnani, Walter and Nielsen, the Danes 13-14. And Behrman leads Hode Bernoldi for the final points-paying position. Emma Felbermeyer going through. She wins the women's trophy from Rosanne den Drijver. Eerste race voor de pilot van the Netherlands. First race for the young Dutch driver. Car 80 with the Maffei Racing Team. And Peyton Westcott from Laguna Beach in California on the women's trophy podium as well. Emma and Peyton also racing in the F1 Academy Series. 6 drivers in the women's trophy here this weekend out of 49. A record-breaking weekend for the Italian F4 Championship. Lucas Summerlistall is the race winner here at the Temple of Speed, and he's now comfortably the championship leader after a disjointed final race. Cosma Christopher from Bucharest in second. Savinkov in third place is the Ukrainian from the Australian Kilian. And then Kostoya wins the rookie race in P5. Barnsell, Weiss, Busso, Robinson, Reckenmacher, Ruta, Maccagnani, Walter and Nielsen, the two Danes. Nielsen will join Simon Reckenmacher and Kostoya on the rookie podium. and a sole solitary point, excuse the tautology, for Thomas Behrmann after starting out of grid 4. Good comeback though. Head of Bernoldi, Chartier, Al-Salati, Tognolo, Lima, Rodriguez, Simek, Michelini and Emma Felbermeyer, who wins the women's trophy. So Luca Summerlisto is now surely a favourite for the Italian F4 Championship, although the gap not as much as you would think, just 33 points from the Finn to the Romanian. Alpaxoy with that retirement drops to third place from Alexander Savinkov. Barnsel, P5 in the series. From Robinson, Ian Kraling, Walter, Behrmann and Busso. Summerlisto 228 to David Cosma Christopher 195, and Alpaxoy gets nothing from this afternoon but stays third in the series. He does lead the rookie championship though on 166 points and third outright. Noah Killian, it's a good weekend for the Australian in car 13, a race win yesterday for the former AGI Sport team driver from Vaucluse, Sydney, Australia, having won last year's national series for AGI Sport. Just misses the podium, but must be happy with a great weekend, having won here at the Temple of Speed. Luca Summerlisto also has 3 times. The Finn takes the win for the 3rd time this weekend here at the home of the Italian Formula One Grand Prix. And fortunately, he's no longer trying to imitate Tom Selleck, Magnum PI. Yes, the moustache has come off. He steps out of the car as a winner here at Monza. Mr. Luigi Palumbo of WSK Promotion, together with Luca Summerlisto, who raced with us for half a decade in WSK World Karting, and a Butner of Us Racing. We'll get a word with the race winner in just a moment, and the championship leader as we go to Mugello on July 26. Let's hear from the race winner, Luca Summerlisto.
So another perfect race, a perfect technique, a perfect start and restart. No mistakes and 3 wins in a row. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a good weekend, like Vallelunga. Managed to win all the races. I think the job that me and the whole team did this weekend was really proper and really showed again what we can do, even though I think the pace wasn't the strongest again, but I think the racing craft were good, and also everything, the radio communication with my engineer and everything worked out really well this weekend, so really happy about it, and really good points for championship again, and 6 in a row, and again I hope we can do the same in the next race, so we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bravo.
The 4th final race of the weekend here at the Temple of Speed. It was a good getaway from David Cosman Christopher from the outside of the front row of the grid, but Luca Summerlisto launches from pole position into a race lead which he would never cede. Costoya on the charge, ultimately to take victory in the rookie trophy. Elia Weiss going wheel to wheel with Alpaxoy, who went into the gravel for the first time. Unfortunately for the Turk, it would not be his last. Kenzo Craigie, Thomas Behrmann make contact into the Lesmo curves. Kenzo Craigie into the wall and out. Thomas back to 23rd position. When the safety car pulled back into pit lane, it was soon deployed once again as Roland Kukulane retired in the Parabolica. Cosmo Christopher, second place under attack from Ari Bansal, who fired it down the outside. The Indian going through to second place. Alpak Soy, Ian Kraling coming together on the penultimate lap. The safety car led the field home to the checkered flag. It still counts, maximum points, and the third victory of the weekend to the Finn for Us Racing, Lucas Samalisto, who takes a 33-point lead into the next round of the series, the fourth round at Mugello on July 25 and 26. Alexander Savinkov to the right of your screen. There is David from Bucharest. And the race winner stands on the top step for the third time this weekend. Once again, a great pleasure to have the great Mr. Giancarlo Minardi to present the trophies. Third place, Alexander Savinkov. Second, David Cosmo Christopher. And Mr. Antonio Caruccio is about to announce the race winner. Yes, Luca wins again.
Consegna del trofeo anche a US Racing, team vincitore. Partiamo con l'inno nazionale finlandese. Applause for the overall podium of the final race for the Italian Formula 4 Championship. Now, guys, please stand for the pictures. Look to those on the podium. Look to the photographers in the pit lane. As well, those on the right on the top of the building.
It's been a very hot weekend, and not just temperature-wise. We've had great racing in the third of 7 rounds of the Italian F4 Championship. Lucas Samalisto takes a 33-point lead to Mugello. Round 4, that's on July 25 and 26. Thanks for watching from the Temple of Speed, the home of the Italian Formula 1 Grand Prix. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll see you for round 4, July 26 at Mugello.